Hey you guys, what's up? This is James here at Unique Perspectives. Thought I'd make another video. I actually wanted to talk about the topic of how to handle rejection, at least from a male perspective, in a healthy way. How to just handle rejection in a healthy way. And I have maybe 4 points I just want to recommend. Let me just say this up front. I do not consider myself a coaching guru when it comes to dating. I think that the best way to approach things in anything in life is really just to have a community of people that have had experiences that have learned things, maybe some people learning statistics and stuff like that, and coming together as a community and just helping one another and strengthen one another. So with my experiences and with my walk with the Lord as a Christian man, I just want to kind of share with you guys just some recommendations. And maybe this might help some of you, especially those of you who are younger. As of right now, I'm 42. I'm not married. As you can imagine, I have been rejected by ladies that I meant well to connect with. And, you know, whether it was by text message or in person, or whatever, they just weren't feeling me in that way. And I just want to kind of offer some suggestions because I know that in the dating realm today, it's becoming even more difficult for, I'm going to say men who actually mean well. I'm not talking about the wicked men who use and abuse women. So I'm making a distinction. I'm not talking about the guys that are using women and they want to play around and they're pretending to be the victim. I'm talking about real, genuine, hardworking men who actually want to get married, who actually want to have a relationship, protect their lady, and live a genuine life in a committed relationship. But, you know, whether you are a wicked man or whether you are a man with good intentions, obviously we're going to encounter situations where we're going to be rejected. Not every woman's going to be feeling you. So I just want to go through these 4 recommendations and these just areas and just talk about. So hope this video is helpful, you guys, and here we go. So one of the most basic things I would recommend, and I think a lot of immature guys fall into this, is they want to insult the woman. They want to insult her as soon as she shows that she's not interested. Now, yes, there are women out there that we may take interest in, and as they are rejecting us, they will say something awful to us. No, you ugly. No, I don't like you. No, you ain't got no money. No, you know. Now, hopefully, the class of men that are watching this video and attracted to my content, we're not interested in women like that. We're not pursuing women like that, but it happens. There are women of all sorts of cultures and educational backgrounds. They will be insulting as they, reject us. And so I just want to remind you guys, one of the most basic things is do not insult these women. You have to understand, and it's something I want to just reinforce later on as well, but, women are entitled to their preferences. Now, they may not always have a healthy standard for what type of man they should be connecting with, and that's another video and another conversation. But there are a lot of women that really have a very discombobulated, I'm going to say, understanding of what a man should be. And some women, I've known plenty of women, their fathers were not around, so they don't have a standard. They don't have a biblical worldview. They don't have a foundation to fall on. And so they are rejecting men that would care for them and love them for the rest of their lives. But we are not going to insult them regardless. It doesn't matter if it's the cute coworker that you took for lunch and you're trying to ask her out to be your girlfriend, or it's somebody that you knew from school, or somebody in your neighborhood, or a mutual friend. If the person's not interested, online, if they're not interested, make peace with that. Make peace with that. And let's be honest, gentlemen. A lot of us are not going to consider being with a woman that we're not attracted to as well. Everybody who I knows, just about everyone who knows me knows that, I have 2 requirements when it comes to considering a woman that I'm going to date and potentially marry. She has to love God. Okay, and I don't mean like she's goofing off on her faith, but she actually has to demonstrate that she is connecting with God in some way, maybe involved in a church. She doesn't have to be perfect, but she has to be familiar with the scriptures, interested in the scriptures, understanding the foundational pillars of the Christian faith. And then the other thing is she has to have pretty feet. That's something that I actually prefer. Okay, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I have my preferences. And, the whole foot thing that, for me, it means it represents a woman's femininity. When a woman is taking care of her feet, her hands, her, hygiene, that to me is very important. So I joke, but also I'm being serious. She has to love God and she has to have pretty feet, but I want a lady that is feminine. And so just as just as us as men have specific preferences, so does women. Now, again, not every woman has the healthiest standards. Some women are looking at a man's car. Sometimes women are looking if you have a house or a townhouse or you have property. Some women are looking at your credit score. Some women are looking at all the things that actually have nothing to do with if you are a healthy partner, okay? They're looking at your height. That has nothing to do with are you a good man or not. Has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Even how much money you make has nothing to do with that, because you can be a tall guy and be abusive. You can be a tall guy and be somebody that lets the woman lead the relationship. You can be somebody with a lot of money, but you're not going to spend it on her. So there are a lot of women of the world, I'm going to say, that they are looking at things that don't matter. We all should be looking for a person's integrity, their character, their personality. What are the foundational pillars that they're living by? So I just want to remind you guys of that. Do not insult a woman if she does not care for you in that romantic way. Whether it's your female friend or that's another topic, we may have to address, but do not insult her. Demonstrate maturity and accept that you are not her type, and move on. Another thing I would say that is something that is very important that we men need to consider, and that is don't second guess your value as a man just because you were rejected by a woman. Now, this is something that I fell into when I was a younger man, especially in my 20s and early 30s. I was under the impression that, maybe it was my hair texture that was unacceptable. Maybe it's the size of my nose. Maybe it's my skin complexion. Maybe it's the way I speak. I get criticized by some people that I don't articulate myself as well as a black person should when it comes to like my slang, and I talk white and stuff like that. There are some women that they just were not down for that. They were not interested in a man like myself because of those things. There's some ladies that may look at my car. I have a car that's 13 years old. For some of them, that's too old. That's too old. I'm not trying to get in a car that's 13 years old. And so, again, there are some women that are looking at the wrong elements, and this is why it's important that we understand. Don't just immediately start second-guessing your value as a man just because someone rejected you. Again, there are a lot of women that they don't know what a man should have. They don't know what attributes to look for in a man. Sometimes they did not have that father figure or their father. Sometimes they did not have they don't have a foundational worldview that helps them judge the world and look for the things that are important. This is why you have so many ladies that are getting into relationships with no good guys. And then later on you find out the guy's abusive or the guy is neglecting her, or, after he's pursued her and had fun with her and cohabitated with her, he's ready to toss her out because he's ready for the next, adventure. And there are a lot of us guys of a different class that we want a real genuine relationship. We want to love a woman the way that God intended for a man to love a woman. It's important that just because a woman is rejecting you, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Now, I'm not gloating about this, but just about every single woman that has ever rejected me in some way, not one of them has entered a God-fearing relationship with a man. Not one. Each of them went into cohabitation, and the guy really doesn't respect them or love them enough to want to marry them, or they had to kind of finagle an opportunity to make the guy or convince the guy to marry them, but he really didn't want to. There's a lot of opportunities, or there's a lot of situations where the woman entered a relationship with a guy, and the guy doesn't even believe in God and the Bible, but because she is so desperate and anxious for marriage, she just she sucks it up and she just kind of goes with it because she doesn't want to have to start over. So I'm not telling you guys that's always the situation, but in my case, I've never met a woman that rejected me and then she entered a God-fearing relationship with a godly man. That's never happened. It's always been a man of the world or a guy who professes to love Christ, and he has a completely different understanding of what the Bible teaches, and he's just making it up as he goes. He's winging it. So don't question your value as a man. The reason why I'm really emphasizing this is, for one, the rate of guys offing themselves. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the S word, but there are a higher rate of guys offing themselves. I know it's in the United States, definitely, and in the West, but 3 to 4 times higher men off themselves because of difficulty and challenges. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I'm even making this video, is because that resonates with me as a man. There are times when I question my value as a man, and I didn't have anyone to kind of comfort me at those intimate moments when I needed to hear that. So I'm trying to do that with you guys as well. Do not second guess your value as a man just because the ladies that you're interested in are always rejecting you. A lot of times, unfortunately, in the West, and this is for those Westerners, Canada, Europe, United States, there are a lot of women that are lost, and they have no idea what they should be looking for in a guy. And they are entering relationships. It's easy to enter a relationship, but to locate a man that's actually going to be godly and love them the way that a man is intended to love them, from a godly perspective. That's something that they don't always have access to. So their standard is broken. So don't inspire that rejection to question your value. If you're working hard, if you're staying out of trouble, or you're growing as a person, maybe you had troubles in the past, but you're growing as a man, you have no reason to question your value as a man. You have no value. And maybe you have a community of people. Maybe you are inspiring. Maybe you have a great community around you that, you guys pour into one another. Please don't allow anyone to challenge you to question your value as a man. Now, I think there's always room for growth. I'm not always consistent with my Bible reading every day. Sometimes I read my portion of the Bible that I'm going to read, and sometimes I just listen to maybe a sermon and I never got to the Bible, and I would like to do it every day. So there's always room for growth. There's always room for growth. And there's other areas as well. But make sure you're not allowing people to question or cause you to question your value as a man. We know when we're living healthy lives, and unfortunately we live in an environment where there are a lot of women, and I'm not trying to pick on ladies, but there are a lot of women that they don't have a foundation. Like, they don't. If you ask them, hey, what is a man? They'll be mentioning all the things that don't matter. And even for some that do say the right things, if you observe the type of men they are, going after or allowing themselves to be with, it's not aligned with that healthy list. So please do not let any woman inspire you to question your value. Okay. Number 3, I think it aligns with a lot of what I'm saying. And don't assume the worst. Don't assume that she's only interested in the bad guys. Like I said, there are a lot of women that are lost. They do not have a biblical standard. They've never had a father figure at all to demonstrate what a man is supposed to be. Some of them are looking at TV. Some of them are looking at movies. That's their standard. Some of them are looking at music videos and twisted views and philosophies, and what their girlfriend, who's single with 6, children from 6 different men, they're looking at, or they're looking at a reality show. So they don't know what a man is. And you'd be surprised how accomplished a woman can be. Nice car, great education, money in the bank, retirement. But she couldn't tell you, if her life depended on it, what a man is and what type of attributes a man should have. There are a lot of godless women that look very polished, and they will never experience a godly man or a relationship that's just healthy, because they don't know what to look for. They don't know that sometimes the guys that they should be investing in are not always going to be the loudest. They're not always going to be the biggest and the strongest, but they have an inner strength that God has given them that a man should have. The type of man that takes care of business and sacrifices for his family. Not every woman knows how to look for that. So remember, just don't allow that to second guess your value. Another point in this area, number 3, is, I just want to reinforce this. I said this before, but everyone is entitled to their own preferences. Now, again, we may not agree with the preferences that some ladies have, but they are entitled to their preferences just as we are entitled to ours. So let's keep that in mind. Number 4, and I'm just going to close this with the 4th point, is one of the things that we should be doing is growing as individuals. So regardless of what season we are in, whether we are accomplishing a lot and God is opening a lot of doors and we have access to a lot of amazing opportunities, or if things are challenging, regardless of what's happening and wherever we are on that spectrum, we want to always grow as individuals. We always want to challenge ourselves to be better. And what that means is adopting maturity when you don't get that opportunity to be with that lady that that you would, maybe you have a feeling that you would connect very well with her, but she's not interested in trying that out. She doesn't want to investigate the chemistry. She's not interested. It's okay to accept that it's okay to accept that she's not interested and move on. You can do that. You can do that with respect. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to insult her. You don't have to assume she's just after the evil guys. You can say, hey, you are entitled to her opinion. I really would have loved to, connect with you. And if you change your mind, please, you know how to contact me. But if you change your mind, but I don't want to preoccupy any more of your time. I would have loved to connect with you, but that's not something that you're interested in. All right, well, good luck, and you can be on your way. I think one of the most important things I want to say as I close is there are a lot of guys that sometimes, I guess this is a little bonus here, but this is really important. There have been cases where I've read articles online where ladies rejected a guy that was very respectful, very loving, very caring. They rejected the guy. He took the rejection with maturity and with peace, and he started to walk away, and the woman changed her mind because she was admiring how well he took it. For a lot of guys, they will curse out the woman. There's some that have even gone as far as attacking women and gone even further than that. But there are some of us, and I'm encouraging you guys to be that class of man. You can be respectful, you can be caring, you can be loving, and display a level of maturity and say, hey, by all means, you are entitled to your preferences, and walk away. And there are some ladies, like I said, they are attracted to that element, that you can be mature and you can walk away without putting them down or attacking them or assuming the worst about their character and their personality just because they didn't choose you. We shouldn't feel entitled to anything in this world. Okay, everything is a gift. Every opportunity should be received as a gift, something that we should all keep in mind. So hope I didn't rant too much, you guys. I really wanted to get this video out. I'm probably going to make follow-up videos about this topic. I think it's something that can be explored. Even just one of these little points could have been explored more. So God bless you guys. This is James at Unique Perspectives. Glad you guys joined me once again. God bless you guys. Hope you're having a good 2025 thus far. And yeah. Hit me up in the comments. I'm always looking for comments and hearing what people have to say. And yeah, if you have any recommendations, hit me up. All right, peace.